Right, afternoon people. So, another piece of private purchase, old school British kit from back in the day. So, piece in question is the Special Air Sea Service COP vest. So that's close observation platoon. So mainly designed for low duration patrolling work and, you know, reconnaissance kind of taskings where you didn't need a full set of PLCE or load bearing equipment. You could just take the relevant bits of kit out and stick it into this jacket. So the idea of having webbing kind of crossed with a jacket, clothing items, not new. British have tried it, Americans have tried it. The Navy SEAL rifleman coat leaps to mind, and other bits and bobs. But yeah, it's not a new concept. Argentinians had it in the Falklands, which is where the idea for this piece of kit comes from. So RG Marines during the Falklands conflict were either issued with a sort of pick and mix kind of load bearing kit, you know, leather and nylon kind of American influence kit for their FNALs, and the British at the time were running the SLR, which is basically the same piece of kit, just bigger. So yeah, and the idea for this actually comes from a piece of captured Argentinian kit that the owners of SAS managed to borrow from the guy who'd taken it, and they trialled and evaluated it and dabbled with it and came up with this idea as a result of using the original Argentinian one. So pictures of that actual vest are available, and I've actually got it in a book I was hunting around for. So the jacket that this is actually copied off is this one here. So this is an officer's version. It's got a sidearm pocket for a 45 caliber Colt, couple of pistol mag pockets here, and then general utilities, bino pocket up here, and then loops for extra ammunition and a pen slot here, and then it's got a Chinese kind of quilted liner to keep the guy warm. So yeah, that's the idea. There were at least 4 or 5 versions of that jacket. It was basically made by unit tailors, and it was designed to take 4 FNLA mags and whatever a kit. So it was a bit pick and mix, whatever you got issued. So yeah, that's the preset for this concept. So basically SAS just sat down early 80s after the Falklands conflict, because both the guys at SAS had served in the Marines and had used British kit during the Falklands campaign and were of the opinion that it was crap, unfit for purpose and dated and need to be moved on and brought up to date. So that was the whole idea of SAS coming into existence as a firm. So basically, they got hold of some DPM material, had a few ideas, kicked them about. Now at the time when this jacket was out, we're talking 84, 85 onwards through the 90s, the British Army was in the process of getting rid of the 58 pattern webbing, bringing in the 90. So units still had the SLR, and other units were trying out the SA80 kind of thing, you know, the 5.56. So we still had 2 calibers. So this jacket was made in 2 flavours. Basically, you could have it for SLR and SA80 and also M16. This is the SA80 M16 version. It's got 4 magazine pockets along the top. So, you know, there's the old mag without a mag pull on it, because I'm that old. Yeah, originally had a green zip, YKK. That wore out. I've just replaced the zip. I didn't buy this new. I bought it off a guy who was leaving battalion, so I got this basically half price. Now, back in the day, new, these were retailing at £49.99 and £3.75 postage. Basically, I've got one of their catalogues in my bunker room, and I just had a flick through it. And of course, now that I want it for the video, I can't find it. So, you know, sod's law. So basically, you've got 4 pockets along the bottom, and then there's a large poacher's pocket on the back between the shoulder blades. This was designed to be used in Northern Ireland and other places for low duration patrolling work, yeah, amphibia patrols in, you know, in the town areas in Northern Ireland. So basically, I had it and I've tinkered with it over the years. So the first 2 mods I did to it, you can see on the top there next to the ammunition. So I added a pocket for a torch. Now back in the day, mag lights were new out. So that's a AA mag light with a red filter in it and a D-ring, and then it's lanyarded on so I don't lose it. And then on the opposite side was 2 pen pockets. Sorry, a pen pocket for 2 pens you know, so that's just easy to get to. Later mods I did are under the armpits and on the back at the bottom, and also on the inside. So what I did was internal zipped pocket and an unopened pocket there, so maps, paperwork, all that kind of stuff just lived in there if you needed it. Bottom pockets I added D-rings to, so there's a D-ring there, and then there's a couple of loops in other pockets. So any kit that I needed on me at the time was going to a Gary Gore-Tex waterproof bag. That was just lanyarded in there so I didn't lose it. And then if I go round on the left hand side of the jacket, compass pocket there, so that's either a Sylvia base plate kind of compass or a prismatic would fit in there. Again, that was the old button loop, so all I've done is I've used that for a lanyard loop, so I didn't lose my compass. This was the original pocket that lived on the left hand shoulder top. I just took it off because it was in the way. They said for binos. I kept it for binos because I had a mini pair of Tascos in there, and then they would go onto this loop here, so I never lost them. And then going to the jacket on the right hand side, same kind of principle, because I've got that space under the arm from the rear poacher's pocket to the front ammunition. I've put in 3 pockets, so that's off a Dutch jacket. I used to use that for a small ground to air panel, and then 2 shell dressing pockets. Now this one here with the brass snap on it, same as the ammunitions and all the other pouches, that's taken from British Parasmock. So at the time there was no IFAX, no nothing like that. We just used to get 2 shell dressings. So if you could get hold of 2 large ones, which were 20 by 20, they'd be in there. Yeah, and then anything else would be in your smock or in these bottom pockets down here. So bottom pocket, as you can see, is slightly smaller. This is roughly the same dimensions as a British Army Parasmock. And then this utility pocket next to it's a bit bigger. This was designed for British Army mess tins and the 58 pattern water bowl with the mug. Yeah, so basically all I've done with this one is there's a pocket in there, and that has got a canvas Millbank bag that just lives in there, and then on that would either be a bog standard normal US Army water bottle without the metal mug combo, and then on the other side I'd have this. So that's a US Army water bottle with a mug and a cooker, because British Hexi cookers were big and bulky, so we just bin the Hexi cookers and then use the Hexi fuel with this, and then you just have a lid or a heavy duty aluminium, and that would be your way. So on a patrol you'd have 2 water bottles on it, and then the rest of it was whatever you wanted, that being a day sack. So yeah, and then other mods I did to it were I just added this large poacher's pocket on the bottom between the 2 utilities. So yeah, and that was just for poncho and wet weather gear if you needed it, and then the rest of your stuff would be in your day sack. So we're talking Carrymore Hot Rocks 30 and the Berghaus Monroe 35. They were the 2 popular day sacks at the time. The British Army hadn't even got around to inventing the Northern Ireland Patrol Pack, so that's how we're talking. This little pocket here was designed for chem lights, but I later found out that it actually fitted the collapsible ASP metal springy batten, so that would live in there every now and then. Bit naughty, but hey ho. But other than that, it was just a good piece of kit, you know. And to say now they are a collector's item with collector's prices is very silly. So you're talking unused, newish kind of thing. A couple of hundred I've seen these on eBay. But yeah, so all in all, a good piece of kit, and it just proves that if you've got a knackered jacket, you know, you can do things to it. So this is just me putting this out there to give you an idea, and you know, it's just a nice old piece of kit that is still relevant in this day and age. So anyway, enough of me waffling. Me out.